All right. So I've been working on this concept and I want to kind of explain to you guys the situation that we're in. And a lot can be remembered from an analogy. So I want you to think about in basketball, there's two seasons in basketball, really any sport, soccer. I know there's some soccer players. There's a couple swimmers on here. There's a couple really skinny baseball players on here, and there's really two seasons. There's the regular season, right, where all your games are played, and then there's playoff time. And playoff time is where you win or go home, right? So in the regular season, it's serious, right? Every game counts. You're trying to build up a record. You're trying to win as many games as you can. But there's not this like super urgent and intense environment like there is in playoff time. And all of you have experienced this if you've ever played a sport before. I'm going to kind of use NBA basketball as really the real example here. But in an NBA game, you guys you watch an NBA regular season game, and they're like kind of jogging up and down the court. They're kind of missing bad shots. And then all of a sudden, the playoffs start. And it's like there's fights going on. People are diving into the stands for balls. The crowd is electric. Like everything is an intense environment. And that is kind of like the difference of where we were before March and kind of where we are, and not kind of, and where we are right now. So we got to understand that everything that we're working towards and everything we're doing and every call we make and every Zoom call we do and every live workout that you guys do is that you are in playoff time, right? You're in playoff time. And we have to make sure that everything that you do is with that type of intensity, that type of focus, and that type of engagement to be able to kind of win this season, if you will, right? And know that this is going to end at some point, right? And we will go back to the regular season, and it won't be as intense as this, but this is the hand that we've been dealt right now. So this is the way we need to be and the way we need to act. And I got to tell you, for those of you still on this call, I have been pleasantly surprised. I have been pleasantly surprised with the performance of the majority of you. I've heard great feedback from our members, outstanding feedback from our members of people being on top of things, of, Jeff Grange saying to Wes, talking about Wes, that he's doing a great job with the follow-up. I'm very proud of the performance thus far. Now, the problem here is this. We're in the first round of the playoffs, right? So in basketball, in NBA basketball, there's the first round that's usually used to be 5 games, Tom. Now it's up to 7 games that first round. So if you think about the first round, we have just played a brutal opponent that were not as skilled as us, but they beat us up pretty good. So we may be feeling it a little bit. Right? We may be feeling a little bit, but we won the first round, right? We've won the first round. And so now we're kind of embarking on this second round of the playoffs, because I will say this is not going to go back to normal in May. So what we need to do is we need to dig in, right? And we need to build up our stamina. Okay, and we need to make sure that we are kind of buckled into our seatbelt and settled for a longer run to the championship. And here's what the championship is. The championship is shrimp. That's the championship, is shrimp. So here's what it looks like. There's a movie called Forrest Gump. Has everyone seen it? Okay. So in the movie Forrest Gump, there's the boat, the Jenny. And you guys saw the part of where he's sitting with Bubba at the war, and they're going over the shrimp, and he's like, fried shrimp, baked shrimp, boiled shrimp, where they're talking about the shrimping boat that they're going to have in the business. And then Bubba dies, but Forrest goes and he creates that business. And they're not catching any shrimp. They're totally shitting the bed. No shrimp are being caught. And it's him and Lieutenant Dan. And Lieutenant Dan he's got no legs. And there's this huge storm that comes. Huge storm. And the Jenny, bubblegum shrimping boat, was the only boat that survived the storm. All the other shrimping boats got just sunk. And they show the clip of the Jenny as the only surviving shrimping boat. And then what they do is they fast forward to these shrimp, these huge nets of shrimp that are pouring into the boat. And so I want you to envision that full net of shrimp, okay? And I want you to envision that shrimp dropping into the boat. And then I want you to imagine the GFP, our gym, wall to wall with people when this thing comes back. And that's kind of what we're working towards. We're working towards that opportunity to serve our clients once again. And that we do such a damn good job during this process that the story is going around of how well we supported our members and how well we supported our community, that people have heard about that. And they are seeking us out as a place that they want to do business with just by the way that we handled ourselves in this situation. So a lot matters right now. Every little connection that you guys make with your clients matters every second. Okay? So remember, okay? So we have this regular season. We got shifted into the playoffs. The outcome is this filled boat of shrimp, filled gym of clients, happy, healthy, training again. Okay? Who do we need to be in order to get there? Who do we need to be in order to get there? And that is the lighthouse, right? That is who we need to be. And who we need to be every day is the shining light for our clients. And when you really think about what they're going through right now, what our clients are going through, the stress that they're under with their kids at home and with their jobs on the line and with their finances being affected, they look to you. 22-year-old Wes is helping a 55-year-old CEO. Think about that. A 22-year-old kid, and I'm using this as an example, you're all doing this. You are making this experience better for a 55-year-old guy. Think about that. Think about the opportunity and the impact that you guys have right now. And this is a time that you'll never, ever get back in your life, ever. You'll never get this time back. And we can kind of go and we can kind of say, oh, this sucked and we were stuck at home and we had to do online training and we couldn't do what we normally do. We can switch the mindset around and push the mindset of, I helped as a 22-year-old kid. The story you can tell your kids one day, Wes, and when I'm saying, I'm using Wes as an example and I'm speaking to all of you. So Wes, don't blow your head up on this. All right. But I helped a 55-year-old CEO who had all kinds of stress in his life and he had 6 kids at home and his business was on the line. And I got on text message with him and I took him through these Zoom calls and blah, 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 blah. And I helped him through that time. You'll remember that for a long time. You'll remember your performance in the playoffs. Did you remember your performance from February? Do you remember anything from February? No. But you'll remember these moments and you'll remember these days and you'll remember how you showed up. So you got one shot at this. Hopefully you got one shot at this. Hopefully there's not going to be another one of these, right? Hopefully this is the last COVID-19 of your lifetime, but shift it around to make this into an opportunity for you. An opportunity for you to reveal your own character, right? Because adversity doesn't build character, right? Adversity reveals it. So this is showing, and I'm seeing why we hired most of you. I'm seeing why we brought most of you onto this team, because of how you're handling the situation. And you're all handling it differently. But again, like I said, pleasantly surprised at how, not surprised, pleasantly happy at how well you guys are doing. So keep that up. But remember that light. Remember that light. And I want you to picture and envision the clients on your flock, whoever you guys have, the clients on your list. I want you to picture them on the boat. Dark, dark waters. Picture them on the boat. Picture the waves crashing up on the side of their boat. Picture them with their families in the boat. And look out at them from the lighthouse. You're on the lighthouse. And maybe you're in your boat somewhere else. And someone else needs to be your lighthouse. And that's fine. You guys got to get support where you need it. And again, you guys let me know whatever you guys need to help you personally. But for your clients, you're the lighthouse. So continue as you're making the calls, visualize them in the boat. Visualize them in the boat and be that lighthouse. Okay? So that is where we're going is bubble gum. Who we are is the lighthouse. Our mindset, how we think during this process. Our mindset, how we think during this process. Number one, Jocko like discipline. Jocko like discipline. Jocko gets up at 4:30 every morning, no matter what. No matter what. Okay? So you've done a bunch of Zoom calls, no matter what. You show up and you do the job. You show up and you do the job to the best of your ability. Okay? You must have discipline. Very happy with how you guys are doing. I don't think anyone has missed yet. Where's Scott?
His internet went down. He's driving to the gym right now for PE at 2. He texted everybody that.
Got it. So I think Scott was the only one that missed once, or he was late once. All right, but everyone has done a great job. Karen, good job getting the post up there. Okay, but everyone has been productive with those sheets and getting those sheets in the night before. Hopefully that's a habit you guys continue forever, because it's just a really good one to have. But have discipline. Have discipline with your own fitness. Have discipline with your own food right now. Have discipline with your schedule. Okay, you got it. You're not going to get through this time without your own personal discipline. Okay. Number two, Disney-like creativity. Disney-like creativity. So I'm seeing that in some of your posts. I'm seeing that in some of your workouts that you're doing. I'm seeing that in the things that some of the clients are doing. Okay. Where can you get creativity if you can't think of it yourself? Each other. Each other. Look around. Ask questions. What's going on with everything that's happening in the inner circle and with you guys? That's how you can spark ideas. But so think about that. Think about why I've called this person, several times. How can I get creative? Well, the video is one thing, right? That's another creative way. Can you, shoot another person, a personal video on a new thing that they could be doing with their workouts? Like, start getting creative, because the longer this thing goes, the more we're going to need your creativity, because they're going to get tired of the online workouts. They're going to get tired of the Zoom calls. They're going to get tired of it and tired of it and tired of it. If they get tired of it, they're going to stop. And if they stop, they are not going to continue to pay, which is keeping us all afloat. So remember that too. The clients that are still with us are keeping us employed. The clients that are still with us are keeping us employed. Be grateful for that. Be grateful for them. Over deliver for them, because they are keeping our jobs. Okay, it's very important to understand that. 3, productive paranoia. Productive paranoia. We don't know when this is going to end. We don't know when this is going to end. We only know that this is going to be a tough, long playoff run. Okay? Don't put a date and think we're going to be back in the gym in May. This has been challenging for me, and it's something I'm still working on every day. But start to think about what are the advantages of being stuck at home, right? Not what are the disadvantages of it, what are the positives of it. You know, one positive I said to you guys, we've been able to sit down as a family a lot of nights and have dinner. You know, that's been a real positive of this. That never happened before. The Gabriele Mile was created out of COVID-19, where I literally just have my kids run around the house 8 times. All right, all that was created. So start to think about what are the positives from this situation. Not that you're stuck at home, not that you're not able to get to the gym, not that there's all this. And I will tell you this community has been hit hard. So Kathy Balsamo has the virus. She's been very sick for 8 days. Talked to her for a long time yesterday. She's very sick. She'll be fine. But 10 people in her nursing home have died. 10 people in her nursing home have died. Another 30 are very sick. This is hitting our community really hard, to the point where, you know, this is hit hard here more than other places, you know, across the U.S. You know, I have some mastermind members that, you know, they're kind of barely feeling this because they have like a huge, county, and they have 1,000 cases in their county, and they're not feeling it. Like we're feeling 10 deaths in one nursing home in one small town, Berkeley, New Jersey. We're feeling it. So even more of an opportunity, and even more of a responsibility for us as a strong business in the community to continue to be that light for our clients. Okay. Our strategy. How are we going to get there? How are we going to get back to this point of having this boatload of shrimp dropped into our boat? I want you to envision the gym packed, buzzing, happy people buzzing all around. You guys back at the gym, back on a normal schedule. Number one, we must retain what we have. That is the number one priority for our strategy of how we're going to make this thing happen. Is we must retain what we currently have. Our first step was the week of wellness. Our second step was unstoppable. Our third step is unstoppable part 2, which we will be talking about at the end of this call today, because we need to come up with a whole nother plan, a better plan, a different plan that's going to get these people excited about another month of this stuff. That's our job. It's a tall order. What do we have to do to get people excited about another month of this stuff? It's not easy. All right, number 2, okay? And we're starting to see a slow trickle of people starting to come back. It's not where it needs to be right now. It's not where it needs to be right now, but we have some sports performance kids that have started to come back. We have a couple clients that are now doing some training. We're working on a free week right now, which we got one person to sign up for. So we're working there. And Frankie did a good job. Frankie sold someone into the online program. Did you the other day, Frankie? Great job. So excellent. So we're starting, and as the things go, we'll start to beef that up even more. But number 1, retain. Number 2, we're finding ways to grow. And maybe, just maybe, this is something we keep doing when we come back. Maybe GFP online, GFP virtual is here to stay. Because I will tell you this, guys, and I'm not 100% sure on this, there's a good chance when we come back, we're not going to have Fat Blast. And the reason being, we might not be allowed to have that many people in the gym at one time. With social distancing, they may say you only can have 10 people in the gym or 10 people per group. There's a good chance there will be no Fat Blast. If there is no Fat Blast, we need to continue with the virtual stuff. There's also the chance that when we come back, people won't want to come back yet. People will be afraid to come back, so which would mean we have to continue with Zoom. So there could be a period of time that we need to be prepared for, where we're in the gym and we're running the online. And that'll be tough, but we should be able to do it. All right, and that's kind of getting into the third part is what's it like when we return? So we do need to start talking about that. I think we need to put a little bit more effort into creating and building out this online program that we can start, maybe that's, the key to getting into some of these towns like that won't come, like Summit and Westfield and people like that we can get into the gym on a more consistent basis. So it's something we should also brainstorm. And then the final thing is getting into our community. And my friend Joe Hashi has come up with a really great idea that I want to piggyback and maybe have him come on and tell us how he's doing it. But he's running what's called a virtual 5K, which I think is a really cool thing, where he picked a date and he's putting it out to the community, and they're running like a 5K, and everyone goes and they run their own 5K and they report back on their time, and it's like a big event you build to. So I think that could be something that we do in the community, and we raise money for other businesses in the community. So I'm thinking that's going to be part of Unstoppable Part 2, to be able to start doing something like that we're getting into and active in the community. Scott's doing a great job at the PE, but we got to start thinking more about what we can be doing in the community right now. All right. So that's kind of our strategy. That's everything that we're working towards. That's everything that the way we're thinking, the way we're acting. But like I said, happy with how things have gone so far. Our business is down, right? Our business is down. You guys have seen how many people have gone on hold, but not down to the point where it's, to the point where it's like threatening a lot of the lifespan of a business. Like it is many businesses have gone from peak to zero. If you think about that, the restaurants that are in our community, they have zero clients. The salons, like what does a salon do right now that goes to cut hair? Like the guy that runs Creations in New Providence, where I go to get my haircut, what's he doing? They go to zero. And yeah, some people are buying gift cards, but that's not even close to going to keep them afloat. We're very grateful and fortunate that we have a good, strong, stable base of members that are sticking with us through this time. And I want you to remember that. I want you to remember that and appreciate that when you're doing your Zoom calls. That these people are the ones that are allowing us to stay employed. Remember that and think about that and the energy that you bring to every session. All right.